Nebulae are huge clouds scattered throughout the universe. Has long fascinated astronomers and the eyes of astrophotography enthusiasts because they are not only spectacular and beautiful. It can be said that in the universe, one of the most breathtaking sights. A nebula is a thin mass of gas and dust. Its main component is hydrogen. Secondly, the sea. However, it also contains other gases and a certain proportion of metallic elements. And the ingredients will be based on their location and formation process and different. And it takes on a variety of spectacular shapes, like a flower, animal form. That's why many nebulae get their names. One of the most famous. There is nothing better than the familiar work of creation. It is the distance from the Earth, a nebula 6,500 light-years away. Due to the appearance, there are 3 obvious cloud pillars. There's a lot of transverse nature bred inside, hence the name Pillars of Creation. There are generally 4 main types of nebulae. The first is the diffuse nebula. This is the most common nebula in the universe because they spread. No clear boundaries. They are further subdivided into emission nebulae and reflection nebulae. The emission nebula is a region of ionized hydrogen, internal or nearby. There will be one or a group of hot stars. It emits ultraviolet radiation. Hydrogen inside an ionized nebula make it shine. This type of nebula, also known as the stellar incubator, like the Orion Nebula, 1,300 light-years from Earth, it's an emission nebula. If you could get inside the nebula, we'll find most of them are young stars. And there are stars in the making. This could be said to be the cradle of stars. And the reflection nebula is a nebula that produces almost no visible light. It simply reflects the light of nearby stars. For example, M78 is a typical reflection nebula. The second type is planetary stars, cloud. These nebulae are the product of the death of ordinary stars. When a star is evolving, the fuel will gradually run out. And once it's completely exhausted, it can't happen from the inside. Any reaction releases energy. Therefore, the internal balance of the star will be disrupted. Entire stars will disintegrate but not explode. The material remaining on the periphery at this time will expand and dissipate. Then only a dense core remains. At the same time, ultraviolet rays from the hot internal nuclear radiation will ionize the outer gas thrown away. Make it a glowing, beautiful planetary luck. Like the eye of God 650 light-years away from Earth. That's planetary luck. And in his center, and a dense white dwarf. And the Cat's Eye Nebula, 3,000 light-years from Earth. It's a planetary nebula. In fact, our Sun, the same is true when moving towards tacit understanding of life. When he entered into tacit understanding, it doesn't go supernova, but quietly towards the end. And the third is a supernova cloud. This kind of nebula is formed after the death of a massive star. Due to massive stars will not die as quietly as our Sun. Instead, it will be shuttled by attractive forces before it explodes. Then it rebounded quickly, ends with a violent explosion, and expand the remaining matter outward. Formation of a supernova seasonal cloud. Take, for example, the famous Crab Nebula is the remnant of a supernova explosion. And the fourth is the Dark Nebula. Dark nebulae are also known as absorption nebulae. It's similar to the diffuse nebula. It's just that the dark nebula neither emits, it doesn't reflect any light, because the gas and dust inside them are denser, can only launch nebulae and reflective backgrounds to be clearly observed. For example, the Dox Nebula is a dark nebula. If there is no ionization in the rear, it will gently disperse the red light emitted. We can't see him. So these are the four main types of nebulae. It can be seen that they are not only spectacular, beautiful, but also the evolution of celestial bodies in the universe. Close relationship.